My name is Rachelle Smith, certified personal fitness trainer, professional speaker, and author. Last time, I highlighted the importance of prioritizing your fitness directly from the World Class Fitness Center, my alma mater, Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. This time, I actually want to highlight the importance of something that is absolutely key to your fitness success. And this applies particularly for individuals who are thinking about starting a fitness program or regimen, or those who've just started. But also, it's a leadership lesson, I think, for those who are franchise owners, facility gym owners, as well as those who are in management role for the facilities. And that is the importance of accountability. Now, we'll be doing future segments on marketing, what some of your powerful fitness marketing brands and companies are doing, and how they're being so successful, such as your Lifetime Fitness, your Anytime Fitness, which is #1 global franchise according to Entrepreneur Magazine, your Planet Fitness. And so there are lessons, best practices. Each and every facility on the planet has strengths and weaknesses, but there are certain best practices that certain ones have that I think a lot of folks can benefit from hearing. And if you know, I'm a trained marketer, and so I'm really looking forward to delving into some of their marketing and sharing their best practices with you. But this time it's all about accountability, folks. Accountability, and there's accountability at several levels. For those who are just starting out, those who've just started out, or you haven't even started yet, you're thinking about it. Accountability in fitness is so important. Okay, and that starts with goals. What are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to do? Is it weight loss? Are you looking to build muscle mass? Are you looking to run a marathon? Like, whatever your goal may be, just make sure that it's written down, that it's something concrete, very specific with a time frame. Okay, so it all starts with goals. And so from an accountability standpoint, and motivation is important. Are you intrinsically motivated, or are you extrinsically motivated? Excuse me. And so for those who are intrinsically motivated, like myself, my motivation comes from within. You know, I've been in gyms literally since I was 5 years old, as my dad has managed gyms on military installations and in city municipalities, community centers that all had gyms for more than 30 years, his career span before he retired. So grew up in gyms, literally. And my own fitness journey has been going on since 1994, and within fitness facilities in particular. And so I've spent a lot of time in gyms, and so all of that time, not once has anybody had to tell me or encourage me or motivate me to go to a gym. But that's because I'm intrinsically motivated. There's certain folks that are like that. But are you maybe extrinsically motivated, where you need a trainer, you need a coach, you need a family member, you need a friend, you need strangers, you need an online forum, other people extrinsically or outside of you to hold you accountable. So one is not better than the other. It just depends on how we're wired and how we are as individuals. So it's all about determining which will work for you, which you are actually, which are you intrinsically or are you extrinsically motivated, and then building strategies and goals around maximizing those. Okay, so if you need a coach, if you need somebody on the outside, can you find one? Is there one that's knowledgeable that can help you achieve your goals? And that person can hold you accountable. So that's just so important to realize how you're motivated and how you're going to be able to either hold yourself accountable like I do with ease, or need someone on the outside to do that for you. Also, if you decide to hire a trainer, okay, or a coach or teacher, whatever, it takes various forms, regardless of what your particular fitness activity is, or physical activity fitness. It could be taekwondo. I mean, it could be spinning. It could be Orange Theory Fitness. There's just so many different ways. It could be a yoga studio, okay? And so that particular teacher, trainer, instructor, okay, is in a position to hold you accountable. And one sign of a good trainer, a good coach, a good teacher, good instructor is one that holds his or her people accountable. If you're seeing the same people and nobody's achieving any results, and particularly with personal trainers, where they're stringing people along, they're not getting any muscle definition, they're not losing any weight, but they're coming there 3 or 4 days a week, that is the saddest thing to witness when you see that kind of stuff happen, and it's pretty prevalent. But why is that? Because that trainer is not holding that person accountable. Because holding people accountable in any situation, it can be uncomfortable. It could be, if you don't like conflict, if you kind of deal with uncomfortable situations, you don't like those, you're going to avoid it. You'll just let the person keep coming to you or keep coming to your group class and not saying a word. No, God, anybody in a leadership role, which a trainer is and a group instructor is, needs to have the confidence and the courage to hold people accountable. okay? And you've got to be willing to, yes, the person may get mad at you, the person may resent you, but it's all about you helping them move forward and achieve their goals. And many times it requires you to make them uncomfortable, and they may make you uncomfortable. So it's all in good faith, it's all in good spirit, but you got to be able to hold people accountable if you are any type of leadership role in the fitness arena. But then also, gym owners, franchise owners, you absolutely positively need to hold your people accountable. Okay, I just talked about the trainers and the floor leaders, what I call them. Your floor leaders holding other people accountable. You need to hold your people accountable as well. Okay? There's one thing that is absolutely appalled seeing when I did 90 days of undercover fitness observer visits here in the Metro Detroit area, visiting various types of fitness facilities, an awesome breadth and depth of facilities for research for my book, is the number of out of shape, non-fit floor leaders that I see in facilities. So you've got trainers that need to lose 50 pounds. You've got trainers that need to lose 20 pounds. You know, you see trainers who literally need to lose more weight than the people they're training. And so folks, leaders, gym leaders, owners, general managers, that's just absolutely unacceptable. But in the same vein, I'm challenging you to hold yourselves accountable. Because when I see that type of thing in a fitness facility, that lets me know that's a leadership issue. That's an owner, that's a general manager, that again is afraid of conflict, afraid of having these difficult conversations, doesn't have the courage or the confidence to address these issues. But having trainers, having instructors, having these floor leaders out there training people when they themselves haven't even mastered what they're supposed to be teaching is absolutely positively unacceptable. Okay, there's so much in the world, there's so much in the fitness world that you can't control. It can be a tough industry, it can be a brutal industry, but the fitness of your employees and then as well as your floor leaders, trainers and instructors and just regular employees, is something that's absolutely paramount. Okay, I'm not preaching vanity, I'm not preaching discrimination. What I'm saying is, in this particular industry, fitness is absolutely critical. It is absolutely a non-negotiable. When you open up Men's Fitness Magazine or Shape Magazine, what do you see from cover to cover? You see individuals who are fit, right? Because what is that? The advertiser and the publisher of those publications, they know. No one's inspired to take any action when they see people who aren't fit supposedly representing the fitness industry. Okay, you take the word fitness, what are the first three letters spell? Fit, okay? I can't emphasize this point enough, but I kept saying it over and over again, and I did some research and I realized this is not as uncommon as I thought it would be. Folks, owners, general managers, that's absolutely unacceptable. But you yourself need to be passionate about exercise and fitness. Because if you're not, if a general manager has zero passion, is overweight, then what message are you sending? Again, everything, as John Maxwell said, and I highlighted him in my last book on leadership, everything rises and falls on leadership. So you can walk into any fitness facility, I can walk into a facility, can tell quickly what type of manager they have, what type of leader they have, who owns it, what type of person they are. Because if you walk into a fitness facility and it's mediocre and you see overweight employees, overweight trainers, stuff strewn everywhere like it's an episode of Hoarders, machines packed so close together and there's not really room to move. You've got liability issues with weights and stuff strewn across the floor. Literally everything rises and falls on leadership, but it takes accountability to keep a gym clean, to keep a gym floor clean. Actually, and I'm going to highlight best practice here. Planet Fitness. You look at their job descriptions, their people do a lot of everything, regardless of what your title is, regardless of what their role is. They do a lot of everything. And so, but what is that? That's a teamwork, team-oriented approach, because they know what? They're all a reflection on the facility. So that particular chain, that particular Planet Fitness has kind of created that model where they are all working together towards the common good of that particular facility on a local level, but also the overall Planet Fitness brand. And as I mentioned, I'll cover marketing down the road, but that is something, that is employees holding each other accountable, but that's also a good, strong general manager, but also a franchise model that was created. But everybody's got to pitch in, okay? Because when you've got dumbbells and you've got free weights and stuff all strewn over the floor, that's a liability issue. Yes, it looks messy and it's tacky, but it's a huge liability issue. And liability is another topic I'm going to cover in a future segment. So What can you do to enhance the accountability of your folks? Okay, do they know what their job description? Do you have job descriptions? Are they detailed? Do they know what they're being responsible for? Do you have performance reviews? Do you have quarterly reviews? Or is it kind of just everyone shows up and you've got a general manager who's a people pleaser and doesn't want to make anybody mad, doesn't like confrontation or conflict? Unacceptable. Okay, leaders are in roles, and they just guaranteed they need to have the confidence to hold people accountable. Because you walk into a facility, like I said, you can tell within the first 2 or 3 minutes if it's a mediocre facility and if it's got a mediocre general manager or one that's very passionate, all right, very knowledgeable, very competent, okay? But it all starts with accountability. So the owner needs to hold their manager accountable if they have one. Some owners, particularly in your Anytime Fitness model, they serve as their own managers and have trainers reporting to them. Or, regardless of what the model may be, leadership trickles all the way down. So you need the owner holding a manager accountable, if necessary or if applicable, manager holding the employees, particularly if it's your trainers, your floor leaders, holding the members responsible. Okay, that all trickles down. Another best practice, during my 90-day undercover fitness observer visits, Title Boxing Club in Farmington Hills, Michigan. That facility was another outstanding facility. But what made that particular facility stand out is the owner's passion and conviction regarding accountability. Very strong accountability culture that trickles all the way down to members, okay? Because they've got a system set up where if a member misses, I believe it's 14 days or more, there's a little trigger that goes, okay? And the staff is notified and that individual gets a phone call, okay? Phone call, email, what's going on? You haven't been coming. Are you okay? Okay. Motivate that person, get them back in the gym. I mean, that's just a huge best practice. But what does that show? Okay, only an owner who is highly accountable, who values accountability would have a mechanism or a plan in place where you are going to hold or where he holds the members accountable. Okay, many gyms don't do that. Okay, all right, because we don't have the time, we don't have the people. No, and that's why that boxing club is so successful. You go in there, it's packed. You've got boxing instructors that are highly qualified, highly competent, passionate about what they're doing, in it for the right reasons. But you can just tell. You can walk into a facility and tell what type of leader you have, who's running the show. And as John Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership. Okay, and we members, depending on if you're intrinsically or extrinsically motivated, members can hold each other, or members of a facility can hold each other accountable. Okay, they could be, people buddy up sometimes if you're extrinsically motivated, and that person can hold you accountable. Okay, if you've done that, then that's something that works for you, and you need to continue to do that, or perhaps consider that an option if you're about to start out. But accountability is so important, but it starts at the top. Okay, if I walk into a facility and I see the general manager's overweight and not fit, I basically know what I'm going to face. Continuing to walk through whatever type of facility that is. Because if you walk in and the person who's literally running the show, if it's not the owner, then it's a general manager or both in some cases, depending on facility. If they don't embrace fitness, if they don't value fitness, then basically they don't have the credibility to tell anyone else what to do. And I was appalled seeing overweight after overweight fitness trainer and instructor, and that's just unacceptable. Folks, there's so much that we can do in this industry to make a positive impact on the world. In the United States, 2/3 of American adults are either overweight or obese, okay, which is just unacceptable. And so fitness facilities have a huge role to play in that, okay? We're talking about 17,000 facilities across the U.S., like the International Health Racket Club Sports Club of America stated, okay? There's a lot of opportunity to make positive difference in the lives of other people, but it starts with accountability, okay? If you're a mediocre leader, then expect mediocrity in your facility. If you're a top-notch, world-class leader, then expect a world-class, top-notch facility, okay? Don't settle. Don't be desperate. Don't feel like you need to just hire any old person because they're applying at your gym, okay? Lifetime Fitness. I have a lot of great respect for them because it's a corporate model. meaning that it's a very demanding culture. They hold their people accountable. It's a very high accountability culture. All right, and that's not an easier, it can be tougher at a franchise level because you got so much variation between franchises, but they know we've got to have solid job descriptions. We've got to have performance reviews. If people aren't working out, then they're gone. We want the best of the best. We're hiring people that are highly qualified and highly credentialed. That's what they're always seeking. General managers, what are some of their requirements? Okay, does this person have, or no, degree required? Okay, trainers, degree preferred in an exercise-oriented discipline. Okay, so they put a lot of value on education. We're going to talk about that in marketing and how they're able to charge far more than many of their big, actually probably all of their big box competitors, and how that's part of their marketing, offering benefits to their employees. Okay, it's easier to hold people accountable when you're paying them decently, but you're giving them benefits, which is incredibly rare in the fitness industry, and particularly from a facility standpoint. Okay, people get their paychecks and that's it. They have no other benefits. Okay, but accountability is so important, folks. Hold yourselves accountable as leaders. Hold yourselves accountable as fitness floor leaders, whatever your role may be. As a fitness person just embarking upon a fitness journey, hold yourself accountable or have someone else hold you accountable, because, folks, fitness is so important to our health, to our economy, to our country, to our world, regardless of where you may be. Thanks so much for your time. Make it a wonderfully fit day.